Hi Gemini, it's Sloan Rhodes here with your Love and Romance reading for the month of June 2018. Gemini, this is an adjunct video to the previously released more comprehensive love reading for the months of May, June, and July. There's a link here. And in this particular video, I'll be drawing one card from the Romance Angels as the overarching theme. And then from the Sensual Wicca Tarot, I'll be drawing one card in the position of what you're meant to do or start doing, in the position of what you're meant to not do or stop doing, and then what you can look forward to regardless. And Gemini, I am just reminding everyone that, the life purpose and career readings are up as well. And so if you aren't someone who typically listens or watches the life purpose and career readings, I would encourage you to do so because, this is about romantic love. And the life purpose and career readings really are about loving your life. And whenever we are feeling more connected to our lives and what we're doing and our sense of purpose in the world, that positively affects everything in our lives, including our love life, our financial security, everything. So if you'd like to, I do suggest that if it resonates for you. And what else do I want to say? I do have my online courses available for purchase. There's a free course on spirituality, there's a course on crystals, and then I have two courses regarding how to read Oracle and Tarot cards, one for beginners and one for an intermediate and advanced levels. And then my daughter, Meadow Rhodes, is a very talented filmmaker, and she filmed the courses for me, and she put together a fun little promo reel with bloopers for the course because we had a lot of fun filming it. So I am going to include a link here for that, just in case you're interested in joining in on the fun. It was really fun for me to make the courses for everyone. So I hope that you'll take a peek at that if it resonates with you, and maybe check out the courses as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, June 2018. Okay, here we go. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Well, these two always seem to go together. They're very difficult energies, Gemini. But I have to say, you're doing beautiful work around it. It's always difficult when these cards come up because it's so easy for us to see where it lies in another. Someone else is, has a codependency issue or this kind of thing. But it's more difficult to look at where we hold these energies within ourselves. Where are we addicted possibly to the relationship or the person as being the thing that will finally bring us that sweet relief of happiness or joy, or a sense of feeling loved. So, I encourage you to go easy with these cards and these energies, especially if you are seeing it in another and you're not necessarily seeing it within yourself. I'm going to get additional cards here. But it looks like during the month of June in particular, the codependency card is a focus. Now, it could be that for some of you that you are in recovery, and we have had, in particular the last 2 weeks, a tremendous amount of egoic energy that everyone has been working with, regardless of sign. And it's been a difficult time, absolutely, and it's showing up in many different ways in people's lives. So, it doesn't surprise me that this card would come up in general today for any of the signs. And also when you think about codependency, regardless of whether it's you with an addiction or you feeling it in terms of a desire to fill in what feels as though there is a hole, you're trying to fill in that sense of lack of love, or fill in with something in the outside to finally create a sense of fullness within you. Remember that you're already whole and complete, so it's an illusion that you are lacking something. But these energies can feel very real. So be gentle. Be really, really, really gentle with yourself, Gemini, because it's easy to beat yourself up. Even as I do this reading, I can feel some of you saying, yeah, I need you to stop doing that. It's not that you need to stop doing that. It's that you are being given an opportunity to explore it again, how it's showing up, and to reassure the inner child, reassure the ego, the mind, that you are worthy and deserving of love no matter what you do from a spiritual perspective, that you are always loved, and you are always whole and complete, and you are worthy and deserving of unconditional love always, that you don't have to go out and get it or fill in with something else. And it's I know these words may sound like platitudes, but they are spiritual truths. And so I do invite you to be as gentle and easy upon yourself as possible. And when you find yourself judging yourself as, I should have done it differently, or I should be further along, or I need to stop, trying to control everything, or whatever. It's not that you need to. It's that this is something that you are working and playing with, in particular in this particular time frame, because this is what your soul is wanting to master in this lifetime. So. Or at least in this particular month in this lifetime. But let's get some additional cards. Alright, so what is Gemini meant to do or start doing? Not do or start doing. What can Gemini look forward to regardless? Okay, so what you're meant to do or start doing is the Four of Cups in reverse. What you're meant to not do or stop doing is the Two of Wands in the upright. What you can look forward to regardless is beautiful energy, is the Vessels. Two Vessels, Temperance card. And the Four of Wands in reverse under the deck. Okay, so we have this idea of codependency as the overarching theme for the month of June 2018 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Again, it doesn't have to be an addiction to a substance. It can be just the idea of I am dependent upon another to provide me with a sense of myself, or a sense of joy, or a sense of safety or happiness. This is why, I also encourage you to check out the life purpose and career readings, whether they be mine or someone else's, because the more that you're feeling connected to why you're here outside of love, love or romantic partnership, the more that you will feel inspired and excited, and it will no longer feel as though one thing is what you need to be happy. You have a myriad of things that make you happy just by virtue of the fact that you feel more connected. I don't know what I was going to say there, but okay. So here we have what you're meant to do or start doing. We have the Four of Cups in reverse around this codependency. Now I'm just going to start there. So with the Four of Cups in reverse here, Gemini, around this idea of codependency in the month of June 2018, what you're meant to do is do something different. Shake it up, Gemini. You can't keep doing the same old, and expect a different result, right? It's a very famous quote. You have to mix it up here. You're being guided very strongly here. What you're meant to do or start doing, mix it up. Don't keep doing the same old. If you are continually going, if you're single and you keep going out like, I'm going to go out tonight because I'm going to find someone and that person will be the person, and then I will finally relax and be happy. It doesn't work that way. Whenever we manifest from the place of a void, of the lack of, we tend to manifest more lack. So continue to challenge yourself, Gemini, to do things a little differently. Change your clothes, change your outfit, change your routine, change who you go out with. Do it differently. Do something different. Even if it starts with just doing it, using a different, ordering different food or different drinks. Trying a dance class, or going to taking a night class, or I don't know, or if you are very studious, going out more. Just change it up very strongly in the month of June. And Geminis are usually really good at this. But remember, you're not changing it up in order to bring something in. You're changing it up in order to connect more to who you are. Not in order to get something and pull it in, therefore that you can now have a different life. You are turning on the lights in the rooms that are already you. So it's that kind of energy. It's a shift. It's a subtle shift, but it's a powerful one for you, Gemini. What you're meant to not do or stop doing is the Two of Wands. So whatever kind of agreements you've made, during the month of June, maybe reconsider them, you know, whether they be agreements with a partner to do a certain thing, like what you said, that we were going to go out partying, you know, and you're like, yeah, you're being encouraged here to say, maybe not, you know, do things differently. And it has to do with agreements here. Don't do these agreements that you have agreed to in June that have a feeling, an energy around them of codependency. Like, I need this person to be my wingman, otherwise I can't go out, you know. I need to do it a certain way. I need to have so many sexual partners in order to feel worthy, you know, or whatever it may be. Whatever agreements you have made with another, or even within self, you know, that you, as you identify with what you think you need in order to you know, to feel good. You're being asked to let that go, whatever those agreements are. Mix things up, do things differently, and do things with different people, absolutely. Again, not because they are going to be the thing that finally makes you feel safe or loved, but because you are tuning in to a frequency within yourself that is already asking to connect with others who are more in alignment with who you are, more often, more of the time, emitting a frequency of. Does that make sense? Like you're already shifting and changing even before this reading has occurred. Even before I sat down to do this reading, you are already asking for these changes. So you're already in motion of it here, Gemini, but you're being powerfully guided here to stop with some of these agreements. Stop with some of these partnerships. Now, what you can look forward to regardless is a beautiful card of healing, transitioning away from kind of crazy, some crazy elements, some difficult energies here, and you're working towards mending, healing, more temperate experience here. It's beautiful energy for you. You are able to take some elements within self and within your environment and blend them together beautifully so that healing can occur. But it starts with changing things around. So if you're coupled, you may have just gotten into a habit of more codependency. You know, it just doesn't have to be addictions and all doom and gloom. But you may have, you know, kind of had an agreement that you guys would always, you know, go to the grocery store together, you know, or always do this one thing together. And you're being asked, like, mix it up. Go out with someone else. Go out by yourself. You know, or invite in new people. Again, not because you're trying to pull in something different, but because you are resonating at a different frequency with other types of individuals who maybe are healthier for you, because we do have this healing energy, this temperate energy, really lovely energy. Now we do have the Four of Wands here, and so if you want to have fun, it certainly is indicated here that it would be likely that you would meet someone through the act of actually creating an event. You know, through the act of your own efforts here. You're not just attending parties, you would be maybe involved in the planning of them, in the setup of them, and in that way you might meet someone, or you might have a more enjoyable time because you have a focus as opposed to just going out and partying, but you actually are maybe doing it for another individual here. You would feel more connected in that way. Alright, so Gemini, I'm just going to get one more card, then I'm going to close out your reading. Again, if you want additional guidance, you know, listen to your other reading for May, June, and July. But mix it up this month as best you can, as often as you can. Doesn't mean that you have to go all out, you know, on this weekend I'm going to mix it up. On a daily basis, where can you shift your routine so it changes a little bit? Do you typically turn left on the way to work? Or can you go straight and then turn right and maybe go around the block and see things differently? Can you walk to work instead of, you know, driving? Or, you know, can you use your bike? Or can you take the bus? You know, mix things up. Do things differently to break out of the inertia, you know, that accompanies these feelings of, you know, codependency. These can feel very like they're patterns you can't get out of. Well, in order to begin to shift the pattern, you know, you have to pick at it a little bit. So you can pick at it a little bit by each and every moment asking yourself, where can I mix things up a little bit? Even in this conversation, am I having the same type of conversation over and over again with this individual where they say this and we complain about this and then we agree that, yeah, this sucks and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Or can I, in this moment, mix things up a little bit and go, gosh, you know, it's so fun to be alive. Just throw something completely different out there and see what happens, you know. There's so many different ways you can mix things up, and it doesn't have to be the big grand gesture is my point. It can be something small every day, you know, as often as you can. Go to a different coffee shop, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's up to you, you know. You have a beautiful intellect, Gemini. I'm sure you can figure it out. Okay, so I'm going to get one more card from the After Tarot, and then I'm going to close out your reading. So what could Gemini look forward to? Kind of the final message here for Gemini. I can't stress this enough either. Like, this is what you're meant to not do or stop doing. These agreements, these partnerships, they're not working for this month. Doesn't mean you can't go back to them, but you need to mix it up a little bit. If you and your spouse or partner always go out with the same friend group, mix it up this month. Change it up. Again, same as if you're single. You know, a lot of times we use the same rituals and same routines out of fear, you know, or out of a sense of control. If I have, you know, it's kind of that OCD type of behavior. Like, if I do it this way, then I'm safe, you know. That's like, you know, that's like with this card, like, let go of control issues. They give the illusion of safety, but it's not actual safety. You know, same with codependent relationships or codependent situations. It's like, you think, you know, you need each other, but you don't, you know. You think you need the substance or the person or the situation, but you don't. Just like OCD, you know, it's like you have to let go a little bit. You have to open things up, and one of the first ways you can do that is to mix things up in the moment. How can I go about this conversation differently? How can I think a different thought? How can I get out of bed on the other side? Can I sleep on the other side of the bed? You get the message. But regardless, we do have that beautiful Temperance energy here, so much healing around this. Transitioning away from it, and that's very gentle. As I mentioned, for some of you, it may be that you're already in recovery here from a substance abuse or issue. It doesn't have to be substance, though. And then we have the Five of Cups here. So we have change. As I mentioned, we have this beautiful Temperance energy, healing, kind of slower energy, transitioning out of codependence. Sorry, my throat. Codependency and codependent issues and situations and people. But we also have sadness, you know. And there is sadness when we change a pattern, you know. There is fear involved, and there are feelings of sadness and loss whenever we walk away from agreements and partnerships. Again, this is a general reading, so it's going to vary tremendously for what this means for you, whether you're single, coupled, and the degree to which you are experiencing this. There are degrees to this. But either way, you know, there are feelings of sorrow, feelings of sadness and loss. But, you know, with this card, remember, you are processing it, which is really, really nice. And I will say that, you know, look around once in a while and see if there's someone else who could benefit. Because sometimes with this card you might feel like you want to wallow a little bit, but you're being asked here to create some change. And sometimes the change includes looking at outside of yourself, you know, looking at something bigger than yourself. Sometimes, you know, when we're codependent, we're very fixated on the here and now, like I need this here, but sometimes you're missing out on opportunities to help others and expand your world. With all that you've been through already, you know. So there's a lot here for you in the month of June. It looks like a very pivotal type of month for many of you. But again, we have healing, and I don't want you to be discouraged by the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is showing that you are processing this. And we have a 5 energy. You are working to shift it and change it, which is very beneficial for you. So, okay, Gemini, I wish you much love. I hope that you found that helpful. Remember, you can always get your own private appointment, either for Reiki or a tarot reading, and the online courses are available, and all readings are available on the audio podcast, Sloan Rhodes Podcast. You can just Google it or look it up on the internet, and you'll find it there. Much love.